Hi, I'm Marcus, and this is Wake Up New Bedford, and I'm here with RickyRez.
Hi, how you doing, man?
Ricky, thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So for the people who do know you, and especially for the people who may not, so tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from?
I'm born and raised in New Bedford,
Sure.
actually. I'm 21, turning 22 this month.
Okay.
I started doing music when I was about 14 years old, and it was something that was kind of shunned away from me, like growing up. Like I didn't even know what rap music was.
What do you mean? Okay.
Like I grew up in a Christian household, you know.
Sure.
So I grew up like playing the piano, playing the saxophone, singing.
Fire.
Like,
okay.
Like I was in church about 4 times a week. From
Okay.
the time I was like 4 years old to 14.
Sure.
Like until I found out what music was. And then I remember one day I was in the car with my brother and he played a J. Cole song and I was like, yo, who is this?
What an intro, bro. Yeah. Okay.
It was Neighbors by J. Cole.
Yeah.
That was the first like rap song I ever heard. And I was like,
wow.
it was literally like a boom.
Yeah.
Like,
That changed everything.
Yeah. And then I went home, listened to everything, and then from then on it was just like obsession.
Yeah.
You know, like I sucked at it. Like
Everyone's gonna suck at first.
exactly.
Yeah.
And it was sort of like I was okay because I knew that I'm just starting out and I had faith in me 10 years in the future. If I kept going,
Okay.
I was gonna do something with it.
Sure. So rewinding a little bit, so where'd you go to school?
What, for high school or?
No. So from elementary on. Sure.
So elementary, I was in Lincoln School. Middle school, I went to Normandin Middle School,
Sure.
which is all in like the northern part of New Bedford.
Yeah.
And then I went to Voc.
Okay, got
So,
you.
Yeah, I studied automotive.
Automotive.
Yeah.
Okay. So before you even got to Vogue, did you have an idea of what you wanted to do when you were older?
Yeah. Like I remember always telling my parents because they used to ask me, "What do you want to be when you grow up?"
Yeah.
And I was like not a regular person.
What an answer.
Yeah,
I want to
and-
be special.
Yeah, literally.
Okay.
And it was more of a, oh, well, you better figure out what you want to do. And I didn't really figure out what I wanted to do. I felt like I was kind of floating until I found music. you know?
Okay.
It felt like I was solidified. I was like, okay, this is what I want to do.
And so, yeah, 14, that must have been your freshman, sophomore year.
Yeah, about.
Yeah. And so, did you like automotive, though?
Did I like automotive? Hey, to put it lightly, man,
Go ahead.
I liked it because of the people I was around, but I didn't really learn anything. Like no disrespect to Voc, but the education system isn't what it was back then.
Sure.
Like I showed up to school, and can I swear on this?
Try not to.
Try not
Yeah.
to. Okay, thank you. I really just messed around in school. You know, like I would show up every day late. I wouldn't pay attention, but it was very clear to everyone around me early on what my goal was. Like my teachers never called me Ricardo; they called me Ricky. Like I'd have headphones in class, like writing. Like,
Really?
Yeah, like I swear to you, from that age until I graduated, I didn't do one piece of homework
How'd you make it through?
because I only passed the test.
Sure. Okay.
You know?
So you're a smart kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
At least I'm told. At least.
But you're not the biggest fan of school.
No, I mean I'm a fan of educating yourself, you know, like
Okay.
where it counts. But I didn't see the point in, well, if I want to do this, why am I learning this? You know, like I know how to add, I know how to multiply, I know how to subtract.
Sure.
I'm pretty sure that's all I need.
Yeah.
You know, like, and it was really, some people call it a calling in a sort of way, but
Sure.
I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you and tell you that, you know, something like a voice told me, hey, do this, do that. No, it was just like, I started it and I didn't really have any doubts to deter from it at any point.
Sure.
You know?
So earlier, when you're going to church and you said that you were learning instruments, what instruments did you learn?
I started with the piano actually when I was about like early, like 4 or 5 years old. My mom told me, she was like, yeah, you were just stuck to the piano.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when I got to school, I remember I was around 8 or 9. Yeah, because it was still elementary. I started playing saxophone.
Fire. Okay. Yeah.
And I played saxophone for about like 8, 9 years. Like, dude, I went to competition
Okay.
in Pennsylvania. Yeah, no, I was one of those kids, like
Yeah.
advanced band, advanced choir.
Okay.
Like, so I did piano, saxophone. I learned a bit of guitar, but I was mainly just focused on musicality. Like I knew that piano was very detrimental to the base of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I just tried to learn that as much as I could. You know?
So, I mean, everyone's gonna listen to some kind of music, but especially in church. So, like, were you listening to gospel music?
I honestly couldn't tell you, which is crazy because I'm very educated on, you know, rap music and pop music and music in general now.
Yeah.
But when I was younger, I didn't feel the need to educate myself on church music. You know?
So what are you playing? Like,
Exactly.
Yeah, what
and
do you mean?
like, I would really just show up to church and they would have me play something and it wouldn't even be a church song. It would be like an interpolation of a song that you hear on the radio. But since
Sure.
nobody in the church listens to the radio, they don't even know. They're like, oh my God, this kid's so talented.
Wow,
Like,
okay.
you know? So it was a weird experience. I felt like I was alienated, but not because of like how I looked or the way I was, just the way that I went about things, like the way that I looked at things.
From a young age, you're saying?
Yeah, cause I was that kid who was 9 years old hanging out with 14-year-olds.
Do you have older siblings?
One older brother, yes, he's 7 years older than me.
Okay. Did that have any? Is that the reason why you were able to hang out with older people? Or that was just you?
No. Like me and my brother, you couldn't tell we were brothers when I was younger. Cause think about it. Imagine you're 18 and you have an 11-year-old brother. What are you gonna talk about?
Sure. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like all I did with my brother was play video games and sometimes play basketball, but I couldn't even play basketball with him because he played with older kids.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
So, and I guess I could say in a sort of way music because he was the one to introduce me to rap music.
Yeah.
It kind of felt like a way where I was sharing that with him in a way because I shared a room with him and he would see me coming home from school handwriting like 10 hours a day.
Wow.
And I'd give it to him to read and he'd look me dead in my eyes and be like, yo, this sucks.
You know, that's not what I was expecting. Okay.
But that's what you need from a brother.
yeah, brutal honesty.
Yes.
For sure. That's how you grow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what kept me going, man, honestly.
Do you have any younger siblings?
No, not at all.
Okay, so it's just you and your brother.
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually live with my brother now. So,
Sure, okay.
Yeah, as adults.
So you guys grew closer as time went on?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, okay.
And he told me, he was like, yo, I don't want you to feel some type of way, because, like, you know, you were 11, bro. What are we going to talk about?
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
You know, once I grew up, it was a lot easier.
And so, one, J. Cole's like a top artist. It's a cold world.
Cold world.
For sure.
It's a cold world.
For sure. So, after he was really like your first big inspiration in music, what was some other big artists you remember getting into?
So that's actually funny because for the first, I would say 2 years of me even writing, which, mind you, I wrote about 200, 300 songs before I ever even put out my first one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was very critical, very. I didn't really listen to anybody but J. Cole. Like, I heard J. Cole and I went through his entire discography and that's all I listened to.
Like, this is rap.
Yes, literally.
Exactly,
I was like, oh, okay, this is it.
This is how you do it.
Yeah, but I remember one of my friends introduced me to like Kendrick and Drake and all that, and then slowly I just started broadening my mental grasp around what music really is, and that helped me a lot because, one, you don't want to have only one point of reference.
Of course. Yeah.
And that's simple logic, but to a 14-year-old, it doesn't make any sense. You know, I was like, oh yeah, this is it. But I brought in my grasp to everything. You know, I started with hip hop, J. Cole, Kendrick. I don't know if you listen to Mick Jenkins, Saba.
No, I'm
all that.
for
Okay,
sure, for sure.
And then I went back and like, you know, started from the bottom. Like I went to the 80s, listened to people from the 80s, whether it was the early stages of the Fugees, whether it was I forget some of the names. I'm blanking.
Maybe
right
like
now,
Rakim.
Yes,
Yeah, for sure.
literally.
No, I know what you mean.
And I would have handwritten notes on all of them, and I would just go from the 80s to the 90s.
Handwritten notes.
Yes.
Trying to note what? What are you looking for?
What makes them them? Because I realized very early on that it's not the music that grabs people; it's the story around the music. It's everything but the music at the end of the day, really, which is kind of weird.
Yeah.
You know. But I realized, okay, I don't really know what I'm doing. Let's look at some people who clearly look like they knew what they were doing.
Who were successful. Yeah, I get what you mean.
And I basically just, how do you say it? Like you know, there's a scientific method and you reverse it.
Yeah, sure.
I just did that. You know, I would go through and I would say, oh, okay, he pronounces these words like this, but after these types of words. And I think it's because of this and this and this. Or he writes this certain way on this type of topic because of this and this and this, or it could be because
That's
of this.
deep.
Yeah, dude, I probably have, or had, because my mom threw them away after I moved out, I probably had over, I don't want to exaggerate, but close to 400 pages of like handwritten notes.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so, do you consider the 90s like the golden age and everything after that just got worse? Or what are your thoughts?
I used to.
Sure.
I used to agree with that very much until I realized that everything progresses, and just because you don't like it doesn't mean that it's not going the way it's supposed to.
Sure. No.
You know?
Totally get that.
Like I used to be one of those kids like, all that mumble rap stuff. Like,
I'm an old head. Yeah.
And mind you, I'm 15. Everybody around me is doing all that gra gra boom stuff, so they looking at me weird. And it was more of a, like looking back, I realized that it was just I didn't want to lie.
Yeah, you're just being honest. Yeah. You're not trying to pretend to be anything. You're just you're just saying it.
And that was very close to my core as a young kid.
What was?
Not lying
Yeah.
in any of my music, like, because it just made me feel weird. Like I never understood how someone could just stand in front of something, say they are something, and then not be that.
Just cap.
Yes, just straight up cap.
Yeah.
And obviously, you know, there's certain extents, you know, especially with the music nowadays, like there's gonna be a little bit of cap in every song.
Yeah. Like Lil Tecca, bro.
Yeah, you know, it's Lil Tecca, man.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
which all respect to Lil Tecca.
No, you make good
He's
music.
great.
Yeah,
great
for sure.
music.
Yeah.
But there's gonna be some cap, and it was really a struggle trying to balance who I wanted to be with what do I want to turn this into.
Now, that honesty, do you feel like that was ingrained in you from the religion or from your parents, or was that really like from J. Cole and that like inspired you to be honest?
I say it's you nailed it on the head. It's from everything you just named.
Okay, gotcha.
You know, from growing up in the church and just seeing like who my parents were, like they were people of integrity, people of character. And you know, when you go to school with you know, in a public school, you get a lot of different perspectives.
Yeah.
And growing up, it showed me that I was ungrateful for the way my parents were because they were very strict. And then I realized like, oh no, like thank you for being strict.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for that, I would be somewhere not as good as this.
For sure. Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely thank you to my parents for that. But the music I was listening to at first definitely pushed me in that direction. Like I hated listening to a song and immediately feeling like, yeah, he's capping. Like I didn't even listen to that.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So it was just ingrained in me. And it just felt weird. Like if music is what I'm trying to do, why would I start off with a lie? You know, why would I build the foundation? If I'm building a house, why would I build the foundation with feathers?
So, when you first start making music, clearly you're taking it seriously, but are you taking it seriously as a hobby or like, I'm gonna make a living off of this?
Well, that's, wow.
I try.
It doesn't even seem like it.
No,
It's second nature to you at this point, brother.
Go ahead.
I would say, I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Yeah, so when you first started to make music, you're taking it seriously, obviously. But are you taking it seriously as a hobby, or you're thinking, I'm gonna make money off of this? I can do this for a living.
Okay, so for the first 4 to 5 years of me making music, I would say taking it seriously as a hobby because it was a point in my head where I was like, I know that if I just focus on getting good at this, I'm going to get paid for doing it at some point.
Got you. That's a smart way of looking at it.
Yeah, and even today, like I'll still catch some backlash for that because you know, like the people around me will be like, oh, like yo, you trying to do this, you trying to do that, and it's like that's not the direction I'm trying to go, even if it's money based, you know. And I will say for the first 4 to 5 years, yeah, it was just me sitting in my room, writing 6 or 7 songs a day, and having one of those songs be like, yeah, I love that one.
Got you.
And I didn't even think like, oh, I hate the other ones. Like it wouldn't even cross my mind. I would just know I like this one the most. And then I just keep it there and then continue writing. Like I knew that by sharpening my sword, I wouldn't have to worry about anything else. And that was the kind of way that I went until I was about 18, 19. And then, you know, when the real world hits you, you realize, okay, yeah, we kind of got to speed this up a little bit.
Yeah,
you know, we gotta do
I kind of need that money. Yeah.
And it's very hard to shift from that because, as you know, your adolescence shapes you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know, almost as much, if not more, than your childhood. So it was kind of hard to break away from, oh, I love doing this, to, okay, now we have to do this in a way where we can continue to do this.
Yeah, like where's the money at though?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because, dude, God is my witness. Last year, I'm working 60 hours a week, and then I get out of work at midnight. I go to the studio until 8 a.m., and then I sleep for about 2-3 hours, go right back to work for a 12-hour shift.
Wow.
You know, and it was that for a long time, man.
Grinding.
A very long time. And I mean, the grind never stops. You know, I'm 1% better every day.
Yeah.
You know, that's the way I see it.
So, from when you got started to even now, maybe you can talk about the progression, but it was always easy for you to write songs, like you were able to do it quickly?
No.
Okay.
I was a good writer. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, Marcus.
Go ahead.
I graduated high school with a 1.7 GPA.
Sure.
You know, the only class I had an A in was English.
Okay.
You know, since a kid, I loved writing essays. I loved writing stories.
Got you.
I won an award my freshman year for reading like 114 books in the
Okay.
first year. Yeah, like I was very.
You like words.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was just something about them that you could paint a picture. Because
Yeah.
I could never draw. I always sucked at it. That was
Yeah.
my brother.
Me too,
You know, he was
yeah.
a painter.
Oh, okay, cool.
But words just stuck out to me. And no, man. If I'm being honest with you,
Yeah,
like,
go ahead.
the first time I wrote a song and finished it, even though it sucked, I was like, oh my God, like,
Yeah.
let's go.
Yeah, for sure.
And it was very tough because I had a good amount of friends, and I would go to school and show them these songs. And the same way my brother would look at me. Well, not even the same way. They would look at me the same way, but they weren't as close to me as my brother was. So they would lie to me.
Yeah.
They'd be like, oh, yeah, this is cool. But then they turn around and be like,
Yeah, it's trash.
yeah, you know? And that was cool. I noticed it because I was never a dumb kid.
Yeah.
And that hurt. But I think that hurt is what made me go home and be like,
Yeah.
You know,
You just wait. Yeah, you just wait.
literally,
Yeah,
like you'll see, you know? And yeah, it started out as me, it used to take me about 2 weeks to finish a song when I first started.
Okay.
Two weeks to write a 2-minute song. And then after about 2-3 years, I got to the point where, mind you, this is where I'm in school. I'm not even doing classwork. Like I'm writing all day in school. I write like 2-3 songs in school.
Yeah, they call you Ricky. They
Yes.
know this is what you
Yes.
do. Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Even my parents, like, they didn't even bug me. Like, yo, they got my report card. They saw it.
Now, why is that? That's kind of surprising, hearing how strict your parents were. I mean, like they weren't bothered by you getting bad grades?
They were bothered, but I was a second child. You know?
What is that supposed to mean? Okay.
I mean, I don't know about your culture, your heritage, but the first child always gets it worse.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, you know,
For sure.
and my brother got that end of the stick. They were a lot harsher on him. With me, they tried to be strict,
Yeah.
but I don't want to like say this in a way where it seems wrong, but I just wasn't scared. Like my mom would hit me, you know, for getting bad grades.
Yeah.
I'd be like, all right. Like,
When's dinner?
yeah, like okay, you hit me, now what? Like, you know, but that's the way I saw it.
You different. Okay. For sure,
Not even like that. It was more of just like, I wouldn't say I was a smart kid. I was a kid with a lot of wisdom.
Yeah.
Like, I told myself, pain is temporary. I knew that from like the age of 8.
Wow, bro.
Like,
okay.
So, but my parents being strict, like, they tried to be like, no, you're not doing rap music, blah blah blah. They're like I remember my mom put like a Apple AirTag thing in my backpack because she caught me, because she told me you're not going to the studio after school. And then I lied to her and said I was staying after school to like make up some work, do this, do that, and then I just go to the studio. And then she caught me lying. So she put an Apple AirTag in my bag. I was like, okay, so then I just left my bag in the school. Like, it was just a very, not a I don't care, but I don't care. I'm gonna get it how I know I'm gonna get it.
You're gonna do what you want, and not
Yes.
because it's something bad, but it's because you know you see a future for yourself in this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, to put it lightly, like if I was out, you know, dealing in narcotics or like being a gang member or something, okay, yes, all the
see
power
it.
to my
For
parents
sure,
for
for
trying
sure.
to stop me. But You know, I was going to the studio and literally like just working. Like I remember I've never paid for studio time.
Yeah, so what studio are you going to?
So right, I was in school and one of the girls in my class, she just told me, she was like, hey, my brother has a studio. And like if you ever want to talk to him. I was
Dope.
like, yeah, sure, like send me his Instagram and I'll talk to him. He's about 4 or 5 years older than me, so I'm like 14, you know, he's like 17, 18. I come through, I make 3 songs in an hour.
Yeah.
And he's like, whoa.
You serious?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know, because
yeah.
I don't know if you've ever been to the studio, but
No, I have, yeah.
yeah, like people will show up there, be there for 7, 8 hours, maybe finish one song.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Maybe, you know.
And they'll be playing around something, taking their time,
you
but
know,
no, you're there for it. Yeah, yeah.
Well, no, when I first started going to the studio, I made sure to never write in the studio. I would have, so right, if I want to have a song, I would have this song, but I have 3 different versions in terms of words for this song.
Wow.
So then I would go record all 3 at the studio.
Yeah.
And then I'd be like, okay, pick the best part from this one, the best part from this one, and then let's piece it together.
Okay.
And I just didn't like wasting time. Like yo, there was nothing that you could tell 15-year-old me.
It seems like. Yeah.
I thought tomorrow I was gonna blow up.
Yeah.
Every day though.
Yeah.
Like, okay, it didn't happen today, yeah, tomorrow. Oh, today, yeah, no, tomorrow. Like,
But when did you put out your first song?
my first song, so I started releasing on SoundCloud.
Yeah,
because
of course.
I didn't really know what streaming platforms were
Yeah.
and all that. And that was, I would say, back in 2021,
Okay.
you know, on streaming platforms. But on SoundCloud, it was 2018.
And so, what years are you in high school?
2017 to 2021.
Okay, got you. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, because you're a few years younger than me.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
So what year in high school did you drop that song?
Late freshman year.
Got you. Okay,
Yeah.
so you're saying literally in the studio you're already dropping music. So
Yeah.
you're like, okay, it should be any day now. You're putting it out.
Yeah,
You want to
you
get
know.
results back.
Dude,
Yeah.
I'm putting music out. I'm setting on my phone on like, and just like rapping into the camera while a beat's playing. I was doing that like every day, just posting it on Instagram, sending it to everybody. I would be in school, like, yo, bro, you heard my new song? Yo, bro, you heard my new song? Yeah, bro, it's this.
Yeah,
Like,
okay.
And at first, it was very, very corny.
Yeah, I mean,
Very
yeah,
corny.
for sure.
Like people made fun of me, you know. But it was when they saw that I didn't care and that
Yeah.
other people were actually listening. They would start to listen.
Yeah, and that you were consistent.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like it was more of a hold on. This kid might do something.
Let's give him a shot.
Yeah, you know, let's give him
yeah.
a shot.
Uh-huh.
At first it started as, yo, who is this? Now they're like, okay, now genuinely, who is this?
Yeah, now we know your name, you know,
Yes.
but now let's hear what he has to say, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and when I started making music, like at that point, I was very like political in my songs, like I would base a lot of my words on like psychology, because my family's full of psychologists.
Okay.
My mother has her master's in psychology, my brother has his bachelor's, and it always amused me how people thought and how people reacted to things. And one thing that I loved was how people reacted to my music.
Sure, because you're noticing, like you said. Yeah, yeah.
Like I'm not that person who plays a song and like plays it off. Like no, I will play a song and be like,
what you think?
yeah, you know, like, and it was very off-putting for a second, but you know, I
They
made
got
my
used to
way.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, you get comfortable.
Yeah.
It's like going up to a girl. You're nervous the first time, but after 10 times, you get better at it.
Was Vogue, do you feel like New Bedford High might have been a more receptive place for people to hear your music, or after a while, by senior year, people were receptive and you were able to
Yes,
get an audience?
Actually, so
Okay.
that's very funny because I thought about that my freshman year. I was like, yo, I'm in this school. I don't know, because I don't know how to do social media. I don't know none of that.
Yeah.
It's not 2025.
You
It's-
got to
it's-
figure it out.
Yeah, you know?
for sure.
And I'm thinking, you know, I would literally walk through the streets, like walk through and be like, yo, bro, you listen to rap music?
You're just talking to strangers, just saying?
Yeah, like a door-to-door salesman.
Whoa, really?
And it was infuriating to me that it wasn't working, but I was like, it's gonna work. It's
Yeah,
gonna work. It's
yeah.
gonna work. It's gonna work. And I just kept going, you know. But by senior year, yeah, I had people listening to me through all of New Bedford, through in Providence, Boston, New
Wow.
York. Yeah.
Okay.
Like-
And are you really only on Instagram?
No, I'm on Instagram. I'm on all social medias.
I mean,
Really.
at that point.
Oh,
Yeah.
at that point.
Yeah, to promote yourself.
Yes, I'm on Instagram, Snapchat, and then I'm posting my songs on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
And then I remember I get flown out to Colorado
When? What year?
So my senior year, I had to go to summer school.
Okay. I mean, makes sense.
Yeah. And literally the last day of summer school, they told me I passed.
Okay,
but they were
fine.
gonna give out the diplomas the last day. I was
Yeah.
like, I don't even care about the diploma.
Yeah.
I was on a plane, literally,
Wow.
like that day. And
Yeah.
then my boy called me. He's like, yo, where you at? They giving out the diplomas. I was like, bro, just hold it for me. They ain't even give it to him.
Oh,
To
okay.
this day, I still don't have it.
Wow.
But I graduated.
Yeah.
And yeah, I flew out there to make music, and I made a whole bunch of connections. But I feel like my time out there kind of skewed my view.
In what way?
Like how I told you, I was very prominent on not lying, like zero cap in my songs. Like when
Yeah.
I say zero, I'm talking about every line in this.
Yeah.
I could say in front of my mother.
Yeah.
You know?
Got you.
But when I got out there, I was very, it was industry. You know, like there's a difference between a studio where the mic is in the corner of the room, there's padding behind you,
Yeah.
and your friend is in front of you with a laptop.
Yeah, for sure.
Then in a studio where there's a $75,000 mic, there's a $900,000 board,
Yeah.
there's like the speakers are $30,000 each. Like
It's professional. Yeah, like you said, it's industry.
yes,
Yeah.
very industry, and not even just that, the people, you know, and they shaped my music. Like they would tell me, oh no, it's okay to cap. Oh,
Yeah,
it's okay
of
to do
course.
this,
Yeah, because
it's
they're
okay."
doing it. Yeah.
No, not even that. They're trying to make money. Because they understands that authenticity doesn't sell until you're already up there.
Sure. Or unless you're doing some trap or some hood stuff. Yeah,
you know, like, and it kind of skewed my mental a bit. But then when I came back, you know, and centered myself around the people I'm around now, it really brought me back down to reality. And okay, what are we doing now? Like, this is mission oriented or orientated. I don't really know.
No, oriented. Yeah, for sure.
Oriented,
Yeah.
And like we sat down and we made like a whole year plan. Like, yo, what are we gonna do? Like, what are we doing? Like, no time wasted. You know, and that's really where we're at with it now.
All right, that's a perfect place for part one to end, okay? Because we have so much to talk about still. I have a couple questions cooking. So this has been Wake Up New Bedford with RickyRez. Catch us in part two where we talk about his music career right now, talk a little bit more about how he got here and maybe some of his plans for the future. Okay. Thank you for watching, and catch us in part two where we continue this. Peace.